Howdy everybody, ArgonMatrix here. Welcome to episode 91 of The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. It is a greed mode run today. It's been a while. We did greedin last time that we had to do greed mode, and next in line is the Lost. We do have a streak going, a win streak of 1, so do I really want to jeopardize that or just skip to Lilith? We'll try the Lost. It's only fair. I'm doing all these characters in order, so it only makes sense. KM6TSD2N is our first seed for today anyway. We'll see how long that one lasts. A Jesus Juice is a good first item. Doesn't help our survivability directly anyway, but the damage up is very pertinent to our interests here. Data Miner is not pertinent to my interests. Binky is pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't get the Spirit Heart bonus out of it. So something interesting to note about the Lost on Greed mode is that he can actually press the button in the middle for free. Like when the waves are active, I mean, because normally when you press the button in the middle to stop the waves spawning, you get hurt. You get hurt by the spikes on the button there. As the Lost, though, you can actually press it and not have to worry about it, which is I think a pretty good balancing act for the Lost here. However, it comes with an inherent challenge that if you press the button, like I kind of felt the need to there, you also don't get as much money per wave. So the more you press the button, the less money you're going to get, and the less likely you are to be able to afford the items that you need. It's a very fine sort of fine line you have to walk as the Lost if you want to get the most bang for your buck here. So I'll take all this money and see what I can make happen with it. I guess I probably want to buy a key here to check out my item room. So grab that, do a little lap around it first, just for good luck, you know. And we got Host Hat, which is actually not bad at all. It has the small chance to block shots and makes us immune to explosions. So I think that's honestly one of the better items we could hope to get as the Lost here. Really, the early game is going to be the spot where I'm most afraid. Because if I can make it to the late game, then I think it's indicative of me having a higher percentage chance to survive the late game. Surviving the early game is often a challenge in its own right, just because you don't have any, or very many advantages anyway. So you just have to kind of go by the seat of your pants most of the time, and then you end up in situations like this where you're just trapped in the corner, scared for your life. I actually don't have to worry so much about that guy shooting explosions, I realize now. It takes a minute to internalize it, but I am immune to explosions, so... Still, it's just good practice to try and dodge him anyway. Alright, is this going to give me enough money for an item? It is not. We got 13 cents. We'll get enough from our boss. What item will we want, or do we want to re-roll? I think we probably just want to take Binky. I think the Tears upgrade is worth it. One sucky thing about... I'm actually going to go ahead and just pop the button here. I don't want to have to fight 2 bosses as the Lost. That's just a nightmare waiting to happen. Yeah, one kind of sucky thing about Lost on Greed mode, if it wasn't already sucky enough, is that you can't really access curse rooms without some sort of fail-safe, you know, like a teleport card or Holy Mantle or what have you, something to let you get out for free, guaranteed. Because otherwise you're just banking on something being in the curse room that'll allow you escape, like some sort of warp card, or like feels like I'm walking on sunshine pill, something weird like that. And the odds of finding that are pretty slim. Well, there you go. We got killed by another ghost, killed by one of our own kind. Well, here's our next seed, KZNK-DTPG. It's all letters this time, so hopefully that brings us luck. It's not looking like it so far, but we'll take a crack at it here. We got the D-Infinity Wooden Spoon. This is pretty bad. The D-Infinity could be interesting, depending on what sort of rolls we can get with it. So I might swing for that if I get the money. But before that, let's start the waves here. The Lost also does start with a single penny, so he starts with a little bit of leg up on the competition. Except for like Kane, who starts with like 3 cents or something. No, someone else starts with 1 cent. I don't think anyone starts with 3 cents. I don't know where I'm getting that from. Maybe that was in the original Isaac that happened or something. Not fully sure. Okay, I'm dead again. Host Hat would have been nice there, but, you know, let bygones be bygones and all that. We got HLBY, Y44Y. Why, though? Why are you playing as the Lost on Green mode? Oh, good. Well, at the very least, this is a shot speed upgrade. 0.16, so hoorah on that. We got a penny out of the fire as well, so it's not all bad. We got blank card. Okay, so depending on what kind of cards we can pick up... Ooh, that's nice, actually. Lets me buy this key early. Depending on what kind of cards we can come across... Blank card might be a pretty huge deal for us. Matchbook does not really help me out that much. Monstro's Lung, I will take. I like Monstro's Lung. Whether it's imperative as the Lost is a question. It's a question that I don't necessarily have an answer to. We're gonna try it here. I think on the whole, Monstro's Lung is like a pretty good DPS upgrade most of the time. There are some circumstances where you definitely don't want Monstro's Lung, but I think having it in a vacuum here is totally fine. Oh, it's not really in a vacuum. You have stem cells giving you slightly faster Monstro's Lung shots. You got me there. I feel like the Monstro's Lung shots are actually normally like slower than your average shot speed, so maybe it is something of a blessing in disguise, but I think I'm just trying to make the most of what was objectively a bad item for us, stem cells. But it's fine, it's fine. Monstro's Lung is kind of a great item most of the time, so it helps compensate for a lackluster item like that. Alright, wave is incoming. Watch out for these assholes. Yeah, okay. That was entirely my bad. I really should not have lost that run that early anyway. EVWJ CTQ9, just burn them through them today. So the thing about greed mode is that they can actually, these lost losses can accumulate much faster than regular losses as the Lost. Sure, why not? Could be interesting, could actually be useful. Probably more likely to just blow myself up with it, but, you know, let's let it happen organically here. Yeah, like most of the time when I play as the Lost, I actually manage to make it, okay, yeah, make it semi-far into the game before having to worry about it. I'm not even going to narrate the seeds anymore. I'll just put them up on the screen briefly in case you're interested in whatever seed we may end up taking to town here. We got the belt, which is fine. We also have Squeezy and Pay to Play. If we can get Pay to Play early on here, that's actually a pretty solid advantage for us. Don't screw me, button. You screwed me! Alright, don't just die in the shop, though. That'd be embarrassing. Let's see. Not much else we can do, so let's just press the button. And normally as the Lost, I can make it several floors deep before I ultimately succumb to my fate, but that's in the regular mode of the game. In greed mode, things happen fast and furious. Like, in general, greed mode runs are a lot faster than standard runs. I think that much is evidenced by, like, the length of greed mode videos. But also, the enemies accumulate so much faster, and there's a lot more... It's like, it concentrates the threat of a single floor into a single room, is basically what greed mode is doing. So, all the threats they were going to be facing in greed mode happen within a single room of the game. In staggered amounts, granted, through the wave system, but still, it's not that staggered. Not staggered enough to make me feel necessarily comfortable here. I mean, perhaps the best strategy would be to just, like, keep pressing the button so that the waves don't overwhelm me, or I have a worse chance of getting overwhelmed by the waves. That's what I'm trying to say. It's hard to construct a sentence sometimes when you're playing as the Lost. It's just the nature of the beast. We did manage to make it through all these waves. I mean, don't count your chickens yet, but we're getting pretty close here. To make it through all the waves without having to press the button, so that's pretty nice. There we go, we'll gather up all our money here. Now we want Pay to Play, so I think I'm going to go ahead and buy that first, because that'll effectively give me a key as well, so let's take that and roll with it. We got 5 bombs that are also poison bombs, and Bob's Curse does contribute towards the Bob transformation, for whatever that may be worth. I mean, that's pretty nice. Then I think you go ahead and blow this up as well. Could have been Small Rock, it wasn't, but Yeah, tinted rocks are not super valuable as lost. Do you take the tears upgrade or the luck upgrade? I think you take the tears upgrade. Luck is not that valuable of a stat in greed mode, I've found. Unless there's some weird factor that I'm not taking into account to do with luck. I mean, obviously various tier effects are dependent on luck, so if you get those tier effects, then you're going to want more luck, but until you have those, it's not super pertinent to our cause. I'm going to go ahead and press this, because I'm probably not going to finish Dingle off here before that. Dingle off. Do you guys want to have a dingle off later? My treat. Winner gets a free dingle massage. Don't read too much into it. I'm making a silly joke for the internet. Or if the internet has a habit of reading too much into things, you might say. And to that I say, you got me there. Alright, it's our round 2 against the Haunt here. This is a champion version of the Haunt. That's kind of nasty though, because he shoots the Brimstone. The Brimstone is fairly predictable, at least. He does also have like a weird, well, it's not predictable when it like ricochets at like a 110-degree angle and annihilates you. What do we got here? SYP6PV2Q. I got a tears and shot speed upgrade. That's not that bad at all. One of the better first items that we've gotten so far. Got the D6, which I would really like, and then Jesus Juice, which I would also like, but not quite as much as the D6. It's not as valuable. So, and we're probably can only be able to afford one, provided we can last that long. So, let's make some magic happen here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop it here because I have enough money spawned now to access the key, and that might be the best strategy, is to try and get that key early on so that you can maybe get an item that'll help you in the later waves, and then do like the rest of the waves all in one, just to try and get enough money for a good item from the shop or something. So we got Bomber Boy here, which is scary for sure, because the Bomber Boy blasts are amazingly huge. So I want to set this as far away as possible from that machine. I don't want to re-roll the D6 at all. Got a luck upgrade there, which is nice. And now we go ahead and save up for the D6. Hopefully be able to beat these waves in rapid succession here. Yeah, Bomber Boy is scary, but it does give us the 5 bombs, as well as pretty good potential offense with our bombs. Admittedly, at a cost to our sanity, and having to dodge and attack at the same time, and dodge our own bombs if we want to use them in that capacity. I'm going to endeavor not to right off the bat here. I get into a bad habit, you may have noticed on Greed mode, of just like sitting in a corner. Is it necessarily a bad habit? Not all the time, I don't think, but I think it does leave you open to being cornered quite easily by like flies and stuff. But against ground enemies like this, it's not so bad. Especially ones that shoot like that and try to take advantage of you in the least sexual way possible, I promise. As long as those guys aren't spawning flies when I'm on top of the rocks, I'm happy with that. Those weird butthole dudes. Oh god. The cavalry's waiting up there. Alright, I can shoot them from pretty afar here, so don't worry about it. Also, don't worry about hitting the button, because the button is inactive right now. If I can at least take, like, this run past the first floor, or any run past the first floor, I think I'll be happy to call this video a somewhat of a success, because Greed Mode of the Lost is insipidly hard. There's just no bones about it. The clicker is not something we want. Not that we'd even be able to afford it anyway. But we intend to do this as the Lost, and by God, we're going to do it as the Lost. The only advantage I can see out of the clicker is if, like, I click into a better character, or a more survivable character anyway, get down to Ultra Greed, and manage to, by luck, click back into the Lost, and just, like, take the win from there, hopefully. But that's cheap, man. We want the full Greed Mode experience in IMAX 3D. Alright, I'm going to have to do that, because the last thing I want is, like, a champion version of Mega Fatty to spawn alongside the Duke of Flies here. Make my life just a total nightmare. This may turn out to be, like, the first Greed Mode run that we just don't succeed in at all, though. I know we've had greed mode runs where we failed in the past, but on this one, we stand the chance to not have any successful run at all by the end of it. And I think we stand a pretty good chance of that happening, but we'll see. We'll see how this pans out. Oh god, it's... Why do you do this to me? Every goddamn time. Alright, stay away from the walls. Go between them like that, even though it's really scary. If I can get past these two little mini haunts, then the regular haunt's not going to be so bad. There we go. Don't get me wrong, he's still scary, but he's not as bad as what we've been facing so far, I feel like. If I can get him to keep doing that some more, just blow all the shots into the rocks and stuff, I'll be very happy. You know, if I can at least triumph over the haunt on this run, I'm gonna be pretty glad. If I do, though, that begs the question of whether I want to fight for a deal with the devil or not. And I mean, obviously, deals with the devil are extremely good as the Lost. However, the deal with the devil fight itself may not be worth the cost of, or the price of, whatever we end up getting. But I think you kind of have to. God, that was scary. My heart kind of stopped for a moment there. I think you kind of have to take that risk. I won't be able to afford Jesus Juice, unfortunately. Unless I get some money out of blowing up these guys, which I very well could. No such luck. We got some bombs and a paralysis pill. Inconsequential. Alright, I guess we'll go ahead and go for broke here. Oh god, double ragman? Wow. They are pulling no punches today with these boss fights. I'll tell you what. Thankfully, these ragmen do not have any, like, aerial attacks, as far as I know, unless these shots can go over the rocks. Oh, I think they can. It was hard to tell there. Oh, yeah, they can. They definitely can. Okay, so watch out for those weird spider shots. But otherwise, we should be pretty content to hang as far back as possible here. And just live life to the fullest. Is this really living life to the fullest? No. This is about the exact opposite of that. However, it will allow us, if it will allow us to survive and see what our deal with the devil may have in store for us, then I'm all in, boys. I swear to God, though, if you give me a Krampus fight after all this, I don't want to talk to anyone for the rest of the day. Like, seriously. That's just, oh, okay. This is probably where I meet my maker. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Sure, why not? Why not? Get me out of this fucking corner. Get me up to these rag men. This is a brawl that will be written about in history books. You're going to read about this in social studies class in the year like 2025. The Great Ragman Assault of 2017. One man stood alone against the rag bros and their spider army. And he emerged not victorious because he died to the spider. That's not even what the spider looked like, game. Be accurate with your enemy descriptions here. Alright, what do we got? Z0WB. Why, Nick? Why? Why, Nick? Alright, we got Speedball, which at least is a contributing factor towards the Spun transformation. Speed doesn't hurt either. We could get a Tears upgrade and Jar of Flies. Actually, Jar of Flies would be pretty solid. Not gonna lie there. Got a key out of that chest, which is amazing, honestly. Tear Detonator? Not really the spacebar item we're looking for, but perhaps the one we deserve after how we've been playing so far. Would I want Jar of Flies over a Tears upgrade? I don't know. That's actually kind of a tough call. I think I might actually, like, legitimately want that. We'll see how we're faring at the end of this floor, though. We may, with the extra little bit of money that we got from the I'm gonna press this actually. I don't want to deal with these stonies for the rest of my life. I know I can shoot through them with the spectral tears, but still having them be pushed around and just cluttering the screen in general, it's not favorable to me. Yeah, see, Tear Detonator is just, it's hard to use. I don't think I'm even gonna try to use it. There are certain circumstances where Tear Detonator is actually pretty sweet. This is not one of those. Just base damage is lost? No. No and thank you. Yeah, with that extra little bit of money we got from the chest in the shop, we may be able to make both items happen. Both toothpicks and... what's his face? Jar of Flies? I kind of doubt it, especially after we had to press the button early on like that, but... I'm going to endeavor to anyway. Oh, Lord. Okay, well... that could happen as well. I get all caught up in these strategies, getting intent on making some magic happen here. Mob's underwear again, huh? All right. And then I just die in the stupidest of ways. Mama Mega is pretty bad. I mean, it's good. It's a good item, obviously, just not in greed mode. What do we got here? Oh, it's Bomber Boy again. Oh my goodness. It's the game trying to send me a message to stop this nonsense. You can break as many lost runs as you want, game, but you will not break my spirit. That much I assure you. I think I actually probably will want to reroll these options. But first I need to be able to afford like any of them, so let's go ahead and I mean, maybe you want to reroll before you can afford any of them to give you more incentive to survive the waves. That's getting into some weird psychological greed mode bullshit that I don't want any part of. Get your psychology out of my Isaac. What do you mean the story of the game is incredibly mental? Alright. Why is that man on fire? There's two men on fire here, and I'm not a fan of either of them because they're going to deposit fires on the ground, or maybe not. Okay, I guess I got lucky this time. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay, well. Shit, dude. Just fast and furious. I'm curious now, how many losses are we up to? That's 7, man. 7, might be at 8, actually, depending on how the whole math works out there. The whole math, you know, as opposed to just the partial one. There's our seed for this fella. We got growth hormone, which is a better syringe than Speedball was. That much is for sure. Ooh, contagion. And the shovel. And a key. Okay. This run is starting off on the right foot. I like where this is headed so far. That's kind of some bad luck right there, but it's fine. Half price on Crackjacks is not necessarily that great. Virgo is also not super great, but it does give us the PhD effect, so that's good on its own. Despite the fact that we may never encounter any pills on this this greed mode run, but still. No reroll machine in here either, so I definitely want to pick up Contagion, and that's probably all I'll be able to afford anyway. The shovel is interesting, but I don't think worthwhile. I think fighting all the floors on greed mode is pretty imperative to your success, because you need all the money you can get, obviously. So having that extra bit of damage right off the bat here is hopefully going to make the difference in me being able to actually sustain myself from one wave to the next for a little while anyway, until I run into some nasty garbage. These guys aren't so bad though, so far. So far so good. That mini Stro over there is giving me pause, but it's fine. We'll deal with him in due time. I believe that is his canonical name, by the way, is Mini Stro. As cute as that is. Cute for a game that's very scatological. There we go. Oh, Lord. I was not ready for that. Okay. I'm feeling very naked right now, just very exposed out in the open, no rocks to protect me over here. And that does not help matters. Because jumping spiders are always a bit of a contentious point when you're playing as the Lost, or any character really, because they can just jump across the screen and hit you when you least expect it, just sucker punch you right in the chest. But it looks like our growth hormones have made us a little more sustainable here, so we should be able to get through this wave without too much more worry. There we go. We got enough money for Contagion as well. So I think I'll go ahead and pick that up right now, and hopefully it'll be able to help us on the boss. Like, hopefully we'll get Duke of Flies or something, and Contagion can work its magic to its best effect. Okay, that's Champion Ragman, so press the button. instantly. This champion ragman does not spawn spiderlings, though. He doesn't spawn any of the raglings. So that much is at least very gracious compared to our previous encounters with ragmen in this video. So as long as he keeps his distance, we might, yeah, see, this isn't gonna, it's just gonna turn into a regular ass spider. It doesn't turn into a ragling. That's pretty sweet. And then we're gonna go ahead and fight double, oh no, not double, it's just champion version of the Gurglings. Oh, it actually is double Gurglings, or like triple Gurglings, or I don't know what this is. It's the Gurglings. And they drop bombs, which is scary. But they don't shoot bullets when they stop, so that's important to note. Here we go, they also seem to have less HP than regular Gurglings, but that might just be my brain tricking me into thinking this fight is easier than it is, which I am fine with. Anything to relieve some stress on these lost runs is fine by me. Alright. Let's go ahead and fight for our deal with the devil, because we do... Okay, it's double gluttony. So brimstone lasers are a thing. Just watch out for that. They can't shoot brimstone at me when they're off screen. That much is canon. You can't change that now, game. It's fact. Your gluttonies can't play dirty. They can't fool me. I have to wonder, how is this necessarily equivalent to a double champion? It wasn't double champion, it was just double ragman fight, but still. Alright, what do we got here? Oh gosh, that's not what I wanted to see. But it still could still be good. That's not. And then we have Virgo, so we got a range up. And we got Power Pill. Alright. Good to know it exists anyway. Let's I guess head down to the next floor. There's not much I can really do here. Could have shot those fires for some extra money maybe, but, you know, they might have shot back, so that's what I was scared of. We made it down to the caves, so at least we can say that much on this run, is that we managed to survive to the second floor 27 minutes into the video. Alright, we got Kidney Beam Love Toots. May not be that bad. Oh god. Oh my god, this selection of items. Okay. So, we definitely, I think, because, oh, I love Tractor Beam so much. We definitely want Synth Oil. And we definitely want Infestation 2. And if we can make Tractor Beam happen, that'll be our next bet. Unless, like, one of these two rolls into something better when we buy it. Oh man, that's such a good... That gives me such motivation to want to survive this this next wave. That was probably not the best time to use that, admittedly. However, I was scared. I'm still scared for my life. This is the problem, is that now that we're in the caves, we're not accustomed to these enemies, whereas we'd been getting pretty used to the waves we were seeing on the basements through like 10 different runs. But we'll manage. These flies put the fear of God in me, honestly. Okay. These flies aren't much better, honestly. Dodge that. That's good, that's good. That's not good. That's good. This commentary is devolving into a little bit less coherent of a place, which is saying a lot for me. I'm not coherent at the best of times, but... Okay. We're doing fine. We're doing okay. I'm gonna press the button, though. Why did I press the button? I would like to go and buy an item, and also the screen is getting cluttered. I noticed there were like 2 spider spawners up there. Last thing I want is for them to be spawning spiders continuously as more enemies spawn just through the greed mode system on its own. Oh, fuck, no! Are you... Oh, God, that one hurts. Well, my timer does say 29 minutes and 30 seconds, so by lost law... We're going to go ahead and try one more run here. WZCXA8PH is our last seed for the day. Starts with moldy bread. Not such a great item for the beginning of a lost run. Got blank card for sale. We got a battery over there. Okay. There's potential. We need no free keys this time. No freaky keys. And I did not just instantly die to Ministro, so that's at least one step in the right direction. Oh, Lord. They're being ruthless today. There are no Ruths in sight. I'm going to go ahead and press the button so that I can go buy my key and then hopefully get something better than moldy bread in the item room here. Although, on the list of things better than moldy bread as the loss, that's a pretty large list, admittedly. It's like most items in the game. Key was at least on sale, so that helps matters a little bit. Little Steven? Not so much. Okay, well, it's better than moldy bread. That's all I really asked for, so egg on my face, I guess. I should have been more specific. However, Little Steven will help. He is DPS in about the worst way possible, but he is DPS, and he's homing tears, so we'll be fine. We just got off the back of our Family Man challenge. Little Steven was, I wouldn't say a key player in that necessarily, but he was there, you know, he was on the sidelines, kind of cheering us on. Firing his little purple tears into the hush. It was a gorgeous sight, it really was. It was, okay, well, I'm gonna go for one more. That just didn't feel like the right run to end it on, you know? I gotta take one more good crack at this. Alright, yeah, this is the run. This is the one we want to end on. One way or another, we're gonna end on this run. So obviously the habit does not really matter for me. Neither does lunch or dinner or whatever the hell that one is. So we want to re-roll these. But first, we're gonna want to get the money probably. Get the money for our key. So I think I'll do like 2 waves down here, then I'll pause it so that I can buy that key. There we go, so pause this. I know it wasn't getting too harrowing at all, but this is kind of the mentality I've stuck with, and it worked out well in the past, so keep on going with it, I suppose. Grab our key, head in here, and what do we got? We got sad bombs. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. If we can get a good stockhold of bombs, which is rare on greed mode, but it does happen, then we can actually make some pretty good offensive use out of those bombs. If we can come across Pyromaniac or something, or like Pyro as well. I know it's irrelevant to the conversation we were just having, but Pyro is pretty nice in its own right. Okay, that was a little too close for comfort. Got into my personal space you did there. Little attack fly, grandfather fly, papa fly, whatever the hell you're called. I'll pop a cap in that papa fly. I'm still mad about that one run that we lost before. That was a run that had everything lined up just nicely for it. It didn't have the defensive bonuses we needed. We didn't have any of like the extreme lost run winning items like Holy Mantle or 9 Lives or anything. We didn't have them yet, but we were having such good quality of items that they were bound to appear. That's just the way Isaac logic works. The more good items that appear on a run, the more likely good items are to appear for you in the future. The rich get richer. It's just a common societal trope that we've grown used to at this point. But then I had to go and walk into a random spider and die, and it was the saddest thing. But you know what? That run's in the past. Let's live in the present and focus on making this run work. Is this going to be enough money to buy anything? It is, but we don't want to buy either of these. So let's go ahead and use a bomb. Reroll that. We got neither of those are good enough to take. Chaos may be good enough to take. I don't feel the need to get Skinny Odd Mushroom, because it would decrease our damage and our rate of fire is already pretty good. I think I will take Chaos. Okay, give me something nice here. Which of these trinkets do we want? I mean, okay, the Callus does nothing for us. This gives us a pretty nice speed upgrade. Or we get a big old range upgrade from this, which allows us to hit things from afar. I think having the extra speed is going to be more appropriate here for us to be allowed to dodge a little easier. So this Duke of Flies, it's not so bad. However, I will press that button if the timer gets too close for comfort, because having the Duke of Flies plus another boss is just a recipe for disaster, because he can spawn so many enemies and then the other boss that spawns in might be able to spawn enemies as well, and last thing we want is having, like, Ragman, Duke of Flies, Wombo combo, you know? Or like Mega Fatty or something. If they gave me Mega Fatty as my second boss, ooh, I'm gonna have a very stern letter to write to Mr. Edmund McMillan. I'll tell you that much. All right, is champion version of Monstro. Not that bad in the grand scheme of things. However, these guys can get your goat if you're not paying attention, because they can very easily split themselves up like that. Not to mention this random weirdo in the corner is going to be the one that actually kills me. All right, well, I psyched myself out there at the end, admittedly. That was probably my bad more than the Monstros. -10 win streak. Classic Lost Greed mode status. I thought I could be better, man. I thought I could rise above the rest, but, you know, at the end, I am a mere mortal. It's okay. Next time we'll probably just go. Next time we do greed mode anyway, not next video, but we'll probably just skip to Lilith greed mode for the time being, and wait for our advantage that we will get eventually. That makes the Lost a little more playable. At any rate, though, I hope you enjoyed the video, regardless of the outcome that we reached here. If you did, please leave a like and/or comment down below, letting me know as much, and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos as well. I post a single Isaac video every day at noon Mountain Time. Can't wait to see you tomorrow for the next one. I'm gonna pop out of here though, so have a good day. This is ArgonMatrix signing out. Thank you and good night.